Hi everyone, good morning. How you doing? I hope everyone is fine, getting ready for our organization launching day. My name is Guena Ferreira and I'm guiding you on how we can do all this transition for us to have a very positive and sustainable humanity. Okay, so we're going to start saying all the places that need to close in 2 days, 48 hours, up to 6 p.m. of that day, of this 48 hours. So if the 48 hours, let's say, goes until 11 in the morning or 2 or 3 in the afternoon, or even 8 o'clock in the morning, so that's okay. They have to close on that second day, right, 48 hours day, until 6 o'clock. So they have these 2 days to clean up everything and to leave the site. All right, so let's first focus and say which ones they're going to close in 2 days. So those sites are all for all countries, okay? All these places I'm going to list and tell you it's for all countries of all continents. So hospice, nursing homes, assisted living, spas and retreat centers for different things, can be for drugs, for losing weight and all these things, juveniles, jails, hospitals, drug clinics, orphanages, foster houses, martial arts like gyms and schools, all gyms with equipment and without equipment as well, all profit and non-profit organization offices, all banks, all stock markets for office or for areas they use, all financing offices, and all stores that sells items. All types of stores. They have to close down and take out what's not allowed. Objects, clothes, everything. I'm going to let you know how all this place is going to be cleaned up. We are also going to clean up and close all pharmacies, all synthetic and natural, all government sites of all types, from the presidential houses until courthouses. All supermarkets, all educational sites, preschools, schools, adult education, universities, and all hotels, all resorts, and also all airports, churches, theaters, gymnasiums, stadiums, everything. The only place that will be open are the residential communities, all right? And the places that will receive families that can live there on the other 2 days. All right, I'm going to explain a little bit at a time. For people, hospice, nursing homes, assisted living, those people that hospitals that have health issues, so they have to go home with the person. Everyone will go to the person that's most able from the family or friends. Orphanages and foster homes, in the same way, they will go back to their own homes. If they were not abused sexually, right, they can go back to their own parents, grandparents, okay? And after that option, they can go to an aunt, not uncle, but aunt is okay. They can also go to an older sibling, own sibling, of course. And that's it, all right? Or be adopted regularly with proper paperwork done. The juveniles go home in 48 hours, contact the family so they can go home. Juvenile of all ages until 21 years old, they just go home. All right. For the J, we have two different groups. The group that will be going home right away and the group that will stay a few more days and go after. I'm going to explain details after. For the drug clinics, the same way. They have to go home on these 48 hours. And all other stores, government sites, and everything else, they just have to close down. Okay, so everyone that needs to go home from all those places, right? They're going to on spouse first option, right? On parents, on siblings, on married sons or daughters, on friend. So those are the places they can go to. For people that already like someone very special from those places, they can bring with them as well. So let's say two elders, right? They're both singles, came from different families. They are in a nursing home, for example, or they are in an assisted living. They can go together to one of the sons or daughters' house, okay? Even that they were not married before. Because elders of all ages and singles of all ages, nobody can live by themselves anymore. Or they live with their own parents until they are 21 years old, or if they're 22 and older, they have to get married. And elders that missed the spouse, right? The spouse no longer there, they were divorced for many years, or if they were, the person died, they are going to the best place as possible, right? For all those elders, if they are healthy, they can have their own apartment with one bedroom. If they are not healthy, they cannot live by themselves, they have to go to live with one of those people that I already mentioned, their family or friends. All right, so let's say a few words about all those places related to health, right? First, let's just focus on those first. Places related to health are the hospitals, nursing homes, assisted living, right? Drug clinics, spas and retreats for obese or sick people, or people that are stressed, people that are having emotional, physical problems of any type. All right. Also, hospitals. Okay. For everyone on those places, they have 48 hours to go. They are not having any very special lunch or anything like that. At the end of the second day, only staff members are going to complete their reports, finish their reports, touch up anything that's needed. But the people need to live in 48 hours. They have to find a way, okay? People, teams need to be calling and get this arranged. Staff members and volunteers, people that are used to these people, if the family cannot be reached, that's fine. They can adopt that person, that elder, with them, like, being a father or mother of themselves. They can bring them home if the family or friend was not reached, they have no place to go. Because no one can be left at those locations. They have to clean up everything, close down everything. For those that have a high mental problem, severe mental problem, the person really cannot recognize, the person have no way to eat by themselves, they are already fed by someone else, right? So those people, severe mental problems, and also people in wheelchairs that cannot be healed, because some people really have a severe spine problem, for example. They cannot heal in 28 weeks. So for those two types of people, they will be going straight away to electric chairs. The Life Renovation Program with electric chairs. Okay. For those people, we are not doing injection because injection takes too long and needs a dose and then needs another dose, and sometimes problem occur in between. The person suffers, so it's not good. And the chemical come from another place. All right. So we are going to do electric chair. The person wears a wet shirt, okay? Go to electric chair and done. All right. The people that will be talking to them at all times, of course, they will be singing songs, saying prayers the best way they can. The staff members, other people that still live there, the family did not pick them up yet, okay? All right, so gonna be praying, come back soon, songs like that, so they won't be in space wondering and don't know what it is. For these special people, we are going to do prayers after, okay? I think 4 to 8 weeks, and then the other program, it's up to 28 weeks, all right? The prayer group, all right. All those people need to be listed, okay? Everyone that have these 2 severe problems, mental or physical problem, needs to be properly listed, the first, last name, and any other information they have about them, because for the prayer team to pray for them afterwards. People with severe emotional or spiritual problems, they are not going to the electric chair, because I'm sure we can fix those problems. If by any chance one or another really not able to improve during these 28 weeks, then it's okay, they will go to the electric chair. But otherwise, I'm sure we can fix, because we're going to have many real good positive practices for everyone. The prayers team going to start right there while people are going home, right? And then we are going to select from the list those places made, such as hospice, and other places that have severe problems, right? Mental problems and severe physical problems. They will be listed, and afterwards, people that used to work with them or their families will do those prayers for a few weeks for them to come back soon, or even for the 28 weeks. And afterwards, I'm going to explain better until they feel on their heart that they're already born and things like that. Because when people will start praying for them, they're going to feel on their heart if that person already born. So we might have those prayer teams up to 1 year, 2 years, and I will give you details afterwards. For people that have condition to go home, they will go home. They will have only up to 2 medications, all right? And up to 4 weeks only. They're not going to have 5 or 8 medications, because some people do have really a lot of medication, but we are not giving that. So the doctor, for many people will be what? Will be the painkiller, right? That is, painkiller is up to 8 weeks, okay? So that's okay. So painkiller up to 8 weeks. For everything else, can only go to up to 4 weeks. Chemotherapy of all types will be stopped right away. People that have problems because of cancer, every medication related to that, to cancer, will be canceled. All right? So they can only have painkiller for that situation up to 8 weeks. Okay, when the volunteers and the staff members will be talking to them, hey, we're going home. It needs to be in a very enthusiastic way. Open the windows, open the curtains. Oh, too much light, too much light. Oh, it's a beautiful day. That's what you're going to focus on, okay? to inspire them and say, you're cured, really? Yes, yes. So why is that? Why we are doing that? Because some people might say you're lying. No, we're not lying. We are focusing on health. That's what it means. Okay, so some people die just because of very bad news. For example, they got cancer. And some people do not care. They have cancer and they don't improve anything. They still eating bad, they still not working out, they still not taking care of themselves, right? So all of this chemotherapy and all medication for cancer of all types, even the ones that spread around the whole body, will be canceled. Not even one capsule will be home. And people that have them already, have them at home, needs to clean up as well during that cleanup week, okay? So they can only have a painkiller and one more medication. That is not those that I just said. And the painkiller can go up to 8 weeks and no more. So the doctors and nurses gonna give a dose, a regular dose. And the patients can use those pills given for 2 months if they want, use on that pattern, or the least as possible, to save, and only can even use them during 3 months, for example. All right, they're gonna use the least as possible and hopefully be out of it. Antibiotic also can be given, or specific medication for people that do have a special disease, a special virus, right? But all coronavirus vaccines are canceled because they're not good, not sustainable, and even kill people. What we need to focus is on health. All right. So all these doctors, nurses, and volunteers going to be really happy, really cheerful, singing positive songs. If you're learning still the organization songs, it's okay. But you already will go to the sing some songs that you already know from church. It's all right. Okay, songs that of course the patient is not going to be upset. But happy songs, positive songs, romantic songs, right? Life renovation songs or songs about peace and love, whichever you already know, to make a very happy moment. Okay, so for all these places, everyone will just go home, and at the end of the day, in the afternoon, or we'll only have a meeting with the staff members, say bye, but no food, no dinner, no late lunch, and no snacks. Okay? So we will focus only on what's really needed. Of course, if people are gonna eat as they already eat. People that bring their lunches for work, if they work the whole day, or if they have food over there available, they're gonna eat regular. What I'm saying is no special lunch, no special dinner, no special snacks. Okay? All right. Okay, so everyone needs to go home until 2 o'clock or so. Okay, and the team for the report's gonna start right away. I'm going to give details afterwards. What's that team? Okay, so the latest you can have a meeting with the staff to complete anything such as the reports, or just have some prayers there. It's 4 to 6 o'clock, and no more than that. At 6 o'clock sharp, no one else at the building. All right, so now let's say a few words about places for security, right? The security places are juveniles and jails, okay? That I'm going to give juvenile go home in the same way, and just the staff members and volunteers going to have their last meeting 2 to 6 o'clock in the evening of that second day. All these places that need, they can have vans available to bring people home. For example, family member cannot pick them up because they're working, they don't even know about. That's okay, all right? So everyone needs to have a proper paper for records that they're going home. like a half page of a printing paper. All right, with their name, been released on today's date, the medication is this, or there's no medication. Whichever the best as possible. Very simple, up to 1 page. Okay, up to 1 page, because we don't want two small papers. Yeah, a half page or one whole page with this basic information for the family to see. Oh, the person got home, what happened? So here it is. So for all those places related to health and all those places related to security, such as people from juvenile and jail, they will go home with a piece of paper, right? And people in spas and retreats, everything else, okay? They go home with something. And in all of them need a sentence. They cannot come back. They cannot come back, and our facility is being closed on today's date, and have the signature of two important people. Can be the owner and the manager, or the manager and the secretary. Two important people with their names, signature on the side, and the date on the side. Okay? All right. The name needs to be written very clearly. Okay, the first and the last name, complete names, no nicknames. And the signature needs to be a whole signature, first and last name, and not initials, or also not initial for one name and the whole, only write the second name. Also cannot be scribbles for this signature. Some people make a whole bunch of loops, cannot do that, all right? Needs to be proper signatures. All right, so we will have those 3 items for 2 important people of all these facilities for health and security places. For orphanages and foster houses, they're going to do the best they can on those 2 days, and they can have 4 more days to complete all the adoption for paperwork, if the families, friends didn't come to pick them up. For all these places we need 2 teams. One team that's gonna start right away the paperwork, right, the reports and the release paper for people to go home. All right, so now let's talk about the third place. So the first was health places, sites. The second, security sites. The third one is adoption centers, right? And now we are going to the fourth type of site. The fourth is the transportation sites. What that means? Means airports, means terminals for urban buses, terminals for travel buses, and also train stations, train terminals, and subways, all related to transportation. They also have up to 4 days. So people can really go where they can go, where they, if they have positive points, they can go where they want. If they have negative previous practices, they will go where organization volunteers are telling them to go or to stay in that same city, or that same. The volunteer is going to tell them where to go. The number 5 are all the gyms, places for martial arts, gyms with machines, without machines, dance studios, all this area related to some kind of workout, but also related to some different areas. So they also have to clean up, take out all the equipment. So all gym equipments they have to take out. Items for martial arts, all of this needs to be taken out completely and already sent to recycle centers or to trash, whichever is the best option for each one, according to what the item is and also according to what it's offered at that county, at that city. The number 6 will be for all educational sites of all types. So from infants to universities, every place gonna be closed down. So what they're gonna clean up? The most important, like for everyone else, all the decoration plastic items, all their documents that they have, everything. So the secretaries will be printing all students transcripts for everyone of all ages, right, from first grade and above, for everyone that do have that. So they're gonna print not in many pages, no, they're gonna print in a very concise area, all right, what class that student had, what year, what was the point or the grade that was achieved. Okay, so we will have, all of them packed, with the most important information. That's just this what I said. No one will be doing, because some schools use the description, right? Evaluation. We're not doing anything like that. Needs to be a proper grade. So whichever teachers, because I know some schools do that a lot. Oh, this student was good with that, and not good with this and that. And sometimes they write so many lines that we don't need that. What we need, it's a word or a number. So excellent, good, very good. We need a proper pattern, all right? Sorry, we're not using any word. We're going to use only grades, all right? Because then it will be the same for everyone. So all teachers and all secretaries are going to figure out to give all their grades in numbers, like percentage achieved, okay? From let's say 40% to 100, or didn't pass on that grade, because less than 40 is really too little. Okay, these papers, all the students from schools from 1st to 14th grade, they will be doing tests afterwards. So this is just for us to have some type of documentation. No, the students that went to school before and those that never went, or those that went for some years and not for others, and those that left school, and so on. Okay, so the secretary team, because they need some assistance, going to be printing all those things. So going to have the title, first grade, and then the classes, the grade, the year, and that's it, nothing else. Second grade, classes, and the grade. Third year, like in objective points for us, like the previous bullet points. That's how we used to say before. For places that have huge tests, like for example here in Florida, right? We have FSA and so many other huge tests in writing, in reading, in math. So for those, they're gonna place after every year, not in a separate paper, nothing like that, okay? And only if those were very important, all right? Right after that year that was taken. So school districts also need to guide schools, public schools and private schools, on this information, how they will be done according to the tests they have. And we are not doing many tests. So one thing I forgot, that also children, teens, young adults and elders that are already living at their homes, but they do not have capacity to improve their health issue until the end of the 28 weeks, they're also going to electric chairs program. All right, so the same way, those that with high mental problems, right, that cannot recognize, have no capacity, of course the doctor's gonna, have an idea, no capacity of doing that, and also for people that cannot walk anymore, right? They are really on wheelchairs, on those specific types of wheelchair that the person really got damaged, something cannot be fixable anymore. For those that can have a surgery, those that will be able to have the surgery during the 28 weeks. But for the others that the surgery won't help, they cannot go. Authorized surgeries can only be made if they are small, regular surgeries. So the surgeries that we are not going to have are, for example, the open heart surgeries and other big surgeries like that. Okay, so for those people, they already need to go to the Life Renovation Program. Because if they need such a big surgery, they're really not healthy. So we are not keeping those possibilities. But also for surgeries related to eye implant and small organs, replacement, that is okay. If they have an availability for that, from those people from hospice and those people that really have no condition to stay at the program. So for the eye and also for some organ replacement, they are okay only if they are surgeries that the person can go home on the same day. They have really early in the morning, the same day. All those authorized surgeries, they can need to be made in up to 4 weeks. They have to be scheduled and made in up to 4 weeks and send the patients home on the same day. For the surgeries that patients cannot go home on the same day, they are not going to be made. So another type of authorized surgeries are the breast surgeries for people that have way too big ones to be diminished. Those they can do. If also they can be done in up to 4 weeks. So we will have everyone already ready because we have to clean up all those locations that will be doing those surgeries. The headquarters assistant teams will already say where those surgeries will take place. For everyone that do have local clinics, they will be made right there and not at hospitals. For those that cannot be made in clinics, there's no clinics close by, they can be made in hospitals. The hospitals need to make a proposal of the surgeries they can make and where they will be established the best as possible, where those rooms will be located to offer those surgeries. We are not going to have surgeries all spread out on the hospitals. We're going to focus. So all of them will be to one side or another side, whichever is better, because we are going to already start remodeling the hospital. And people come, take the surgeries and go home. They are not staying at the hospital. These people going home, these people will need the proper details on the discharge, right, of the patient. But that's okay, all details, and they will already say ahead. So people doing surgeries, they already will watch videos, the family and the patient already watch videos on items they need to know for before, during, and after. Okay, and the family will be watching those videos related to that situation for them to have proper food, nutrition, care, the best as possible. So every hospital, they can have special vans, right? I think van is appropriate to pick up and bring people home. To pick up only if they really need, because people, if they have a family, they will come with the family. They have to come with one family member, such as the spouse or someone. So it's already forbidden to use the ambulances, right, for any need, even for those surgeries. They can have regular vans and bring the patient and the spouse that was there during the day. All surgeries will be set up in the morning up to 2 o'clock or so, right? So from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., okay? And from 2 to 6, we already be the discharge. 2 to 5, sorry, because, and then, yeah, all right. So let me repeat. 7 to 2 p.m., all the surgeries will be made. 2 to 5 p.m. will be for the families to pick them up, for them to go home in one way or another, right? Because families won't have cars anymore. So for very small, minor surgeries, they can go walking if they live nearby. It needs to be reasonable, of course. If they need a ride, we can have vans or even a car, a vehicle, right, that can bring the spouse and the patient home. And from 5 to 6 p.m., the staff will be cleaning up, making reports, and go home. All right, 6 p.m., everyone needs to be by the door leaving, closing the facility and leaving. All right, so for all the surgeries that each hospital can do, they will have two different proposals. One will be at on site, and one that will be in a clinic where is appropriate. Because some hospitals are huge, but some clinics can have some equipment for something. For example, eye surgery and so on. And they will send this proposal to the university, of course, team of doctors to evaluate that situation and approve. Okay. They also need to have the rooms that I said. They're going to perform each surgery. Surgeries need to be done right away, one after another. Okay? So, one after another. So if they have, for example, break, will be 10 or 20 minutes break and start the new one. So for very big surgeries, I think 20 minutes reasonable. And for very small surgeries, don't make people tired. They're going to have a helping team, right? But I think about that is reasonable. And as I said, we are not going to have open heart surgeries that take many, many hours. We are not doing that. That's excluded. Heart surgery won't be made. Okay. For everything else, I think is reasonable and we can do it. On their proposal, they are already gonna say which doctors live close by or can take urban buses that will be working during these 8 weeks and performing surgeries, offering surgeries for the patients. So the organization will have an idea of how many are there. So for doctors, nurses, and also for students that already are able to do those things, such as, they're already doing their, in practice, they can be part of this helping team, right? Even that the real doctors will be the leading teams for all surgeries. They will also list, every hospital will list the equipment they need and such as machines, but also such as little tools, right, used by doctors for surgeries. Tools. Okay, so all the surgeries need the leader and who will be helping them. People that can come using subways, using urban buses, all right? Local people right there from the same county, okay? The same county. Of course, some countries, there's not such a thing. They have no hospitals hospitals are really located far away, I want to say. So for those counties, those teams can work with a neighbor county. Up to a neighbor county, it's okay. All right, the municipality, right? Some countries, they use this word. They don't use county. They use municipality. So that's okay. All right. They're also going to say in that amount of weeks, how many people can have surgeries on that day, okay? If really needed, if the list is really long, they can do the surgery 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., but then the family needs to come on that last hour, right? And the team needs to be cleaning up by 6 o'clock, and everyone needs to go home the same way. And the vans gonna be working all day, picking up, dropping off for those that cannot come. The other thing, they will be scheduled for region. So each municipality gonna be divided in 4 areas of those people that hospital will attend. Because to pick up and drop off the patients, right, or for sure to drop off those patients, they will focus on that area. So you're already going to say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right? So you have one more day, Friday. So let's say you get the map of that municipality, the region that hospital gonna attend. And you're gonna divide the circle in 5 parts. That's really reasonable. So every Monday you're gonna do for this region, every Tuesday for this region, 3, 4, 5. Regions can be very thin, like the same way when you divide, when you're teaching children on fractions. So you're gonna be doing the same way. Some regions can be really big, right? For example, low-income families that have a lot of things to catch up because they were not available. The same way is for dentists, all right? And then some regions might have a very few because they're very less populated or something like that, okay? But it's important for them to have an idea of these groups of people. So, organizing more or less by regions, these regions need to have the name of the communities they will attend, because everyone will come from specific communities with their old names to be easy for everyone, all right? Such as the neighborhood, private communities or rural areas, whichever it is, their previous name, the name they have for the last few years. Because buses, a few buses can also come pick up many people only during these 8 weeks. Buses will come to residential communities, pick up everyone they can that already have scheduled their appointments and bring them up. Such as in lunchtime, we'll be getting new patients, all right? So we will have the morning team and the afternoon team. For what? For patients and for doctors, okay? During these 8 weeks, already scheduled this way. So no doctors will be too tired. On places that are really needed, the main doctor, right, the head doctor, can work the whole day, because we know some countries we don't have enough doctors, not enough surgeons, so we know all that, okay? All right. All the doctors that do not have based on natural medicine, they're gonna focus on what is the patient's problem. And after that, instead of indicating a synthetic medication for that patient, they will already go to our website and see what's the video related to that problem. They will type the problem on the specific place, and we already let them know. So he's going to explain a few words to the patient, right? And on the discharge, will be only the numbers of the videos the patient needs to watch, and over there will be everything included. And most as possible, patients will have that already watched, on previous days. As soon as they schedule their appointment, the lady, the secretary, will already tell, all right, so to do this, you have to watch these videos number. I'm gonna tell how many, the numbers, if it's 1 or 2, how many videos they have to watch according to their problem, and or surgery, or whatever it is. Okay? Buses from residential communities that will bring and drop them off just to go faster instead of relying on urban buses, those will be only available up to 8 weeks. After that, only for special authorizations, because it might happen, right, in some places, authorization from the headquarters assistant team, that's for health and surgeries. Because in some places, they have hospitals at the big cities and none in small cities or rural areas. So then it's okay. The headquarters assistant team can give authorization depending on how many people are on waiting lists for one thing or another. Even for regular checkup as well for healthy people, right? For healthy individuals in all countries. So they can give authorization for 4 more weeks or for 8 more weeks. Okay? So on that will be really enough and no more will be done. After that, everything, all the surgery is completed for sure, and everyone will only be going to local clinics. Those local clinics will be previous ones that already have their license before and new ones that already got registered from those doctors that were working in hospitals before. They can be working in local small clinics. The service for the bus or a van will continue if the headquarters assistant team gives authorization for 4 or 8 more weeks after that previous first 8 weeks for everyone. They will continue offering their transportation according to their needs. That will be bus or vans or minibus, right? Because might have, one people here, 2 there, or even a car, right? A car that can fit 4 people or so. So can be like that as well. The organization volunteers will say what's the most sustainable for those hospitals to have. Because some are huge hospitals in huge cities, right? So if they're gonna have 2 or 4 buses, okay, and maybe 2 or 4 vans, all right, so they can attend the population, but they will be properly registered. Only those vehicles will be approved. So for people, for all the headquarters assistant teams that are related to hospitals and clinics, they will already make the proposal for what they think is the most sustainable for each hospital. Okay, the hospital staff, such as the doctors, can, and the nurses also can give an opinion if they think they need less or more, what they think. They can give the suggestion, send the suggestion to the headquarters assistant teams, that they want to know who they are. It's important for people to be meeting and don't tell other people. It's forbidden to say they are part of the headquarters assistant team, because we need those teams to be really efficient. It's not to show off to others that they are this or they are that. No, it's to get their job done and make sure their proposal is done accordingly. They will be checking. And with the security teams, right, they will be working to getting all this work done in the amount of weeks that were offered. The other thing that can happen as well is for the hospitals to bring those patients onto a bus terminal, because over there they will have buses to all areas, okay? So that's the most sustainable, because everyone needs to, people that can walk afterwards, that's okay, that's fine, all right? So I will make an improvement here for heart surgery. Can also be done in up to 8 weeks. So let's say all the surgeries, improvement here. All the surgeries can be done in up to 8 weeks, because I think that's really sustainable and positive. So everyone will have a chance, right? Because no more will be done anyways. So everyone can have that. For people that have physical problem, but they're healthy, it's okay. For example, people without proper legs, but can walk, right? Because some people do not have both of their legs and they're fine. They can communicate, they're good, they're positive, they have enthusiasm for life, and they even work. Or people that have problems like only one arm, but as soon as they can manage themselves, that's okay. And of course, have a good mental ability, all right? So that's fine. So they have to move around. They have to be able to go to a bus stop. They have to be able to take care of themselves at their house, help the family, right? Because everyone's going to have family during their whole lives. Okay, so as soon as they have a good, positive mental ability, right? To learn, to improve, that's fine. Okay, for the painkiller, up to 8 weeks for everyone, it's mostly for these people that are having a lot of pain right now. But for everyone that is having a surgery, the painkiller will be, of course, in less time, okay? Because it will be just for the surgery problem. And the medication they need, because some need antibiotic, mostly will be antibiotic to make sure they get no problems after surgery, all right? Or any other medication, it's all right. Even for allergy, because we need people. Our objective is to give the most opportunity as possible during these 28 weeks. So, for example, we will take carpets out, people will be breathing fresh air a lot, and so people will be improving. But for now, yes, we need people to breathe. So for allergies, they can have medication up to 8 weeks. Everything is up to 8 weeks, no more for those synthetic items, medication, okay? For other things, if they need longer, then it's okay, because it might happen. The main thing is if that person is thinking well, it's embracing this opportunity of life renovation, then it's okay to give for a longer period if that person really is healing, because some countries, third world countries, they are exposed to many diseases that other countries are not exposed anymore. So yes, let's give medication, okay? Even as soon as they finish, before the 28 weeks is fine, because for the final, they cannot have any medication from doctors or also at home for this final home inspection, all right? This includes people with HIV, Ebola, and all these other problems that some countries have quite a lot still of those things. All right, so I'm just going to say a few words about the item 4, that's transportation, right? That I didn't say. The headquarter assistant team for transportation will, as soon as possible, already schedule where the drivers will be coming from. Because remember, we have the drivers that will be coming from residential communities to attend all the buses of this or that garage from this or that city, all the subways, all the trains, right? They're the only ones that can leave at 5 o'clock and not at 6. So at 6 we will start already having the buses. So they will be walking to their garage. But for now, during these 28 weeks, they can take a van or with all of them, right? Let's say up to 4 weeks. Up to 4 weeks they can take a van. Okay, I think that's sustainable. In the same way, so we'll be drivers for all transportation. Urban buses, travel buses, trains, subways, airplanes, for everything, boats, ships, okay? They will already be close to areas where those things are in up to 4 weeks. And if it's needed, we can do 4 more weeks, only if it's really needed and authorized. And of course, for those that have authorization. And after that will be just the regular urban buses, right? Trains and subways and local things. Okay, so all those drivers will be living really close by or with access to urban buses, the best as possible, okay? All these drivers, including airplane pilots, they can leave at 5 o'clock. For those, for example, pilots, it's going to be really hard for them to be living right by the airport because sometimes there's not even housing by the airport. But on the cities that are available, yes, they're going to be, going. For security reasons, yes, we will have a van, okay? And that van going to bring all drivers to that direction, drivers of all types. From urban buses to airplane pilots. This way, everyone gonna be safe, right? And the van driver gonna be working at the last location, and at lunchtime they come back, and in the same way another van or the same van goes. If it's far away, if it's close, that will be different. So all those vans leaving at 5 a.m. gonna work up to 8 weeks, and after that only for extreme necessity, because up to that moment everyone needs to live really close by to those locations, including airplane pilots. In cities that might not be safe yet, on up to those 8 weeks, they can have more time, because the main thing, of course, is to have everyone safe. So they leave their homes at 5, be ready on those locations at 6, right? Start working at 6. In the same way, for staff, a few staff members that will be working on those locations, such as some marinas, right? Some airports, okay? Because that's important. For airports, for example, will be security, will be basically the security, right? And the pilot assistants that will need to go on that same van or minibus or even a bus. So, for example, if a bus or minibus leaves at 5 o'clock, they will arrive even a little before 6 or so. So they have to start working at 6. Of course, for some of them, they have to wait till 7 o'clock or even 8 o'clock. For example, as airplane, right? Because 6 o'clock, nobody gonna be there at the airport. They are leaving their homes, right? The urban bus is gonna start working at 6. So they need to give some time, and start really working at 6, 7 or 8. But it's important for all of them to get to their locations ahead so they can have things organized, right? Such as all these drivers, make sure they're already there, okay? When people arrive, it needs to be already some people there, such as the security, for all these terminals of all types. The only terminal that will be closed right away are the ports, the big ports for ships. Those for items, they're gonna stop right away. They bring, they deliver, get everything out of the ship. It's important. All the containers, everything, they have to take everything out because they will already be sent to recycling center. And they already have the people in charge, the pilot of the ship that come from one country or another won't stay on that ship. People from local people that know how to drive ships will bring the ships out of the port to the indicated location where it's safe, okay, for them to be recycled soon as all the work gonna be open again after those 4 weeks. Ships for passengers will last a little longer, and soon after will be the same way. They're gonna stop at the port, and then a person that lives on the region gonna take over the driving of that ship. Everything gonna be empty out, and also they will bring the ship to the indicated location in a safe place away from the port for them to be recycled afterwards, right? When we will have every place already open again. Everything that we won't be using anymore will stay right there whichever they are, such as disposable items, cars like family cars, if they're in ships or wherever they are, they're not passing on anywhere. Also things that break a lot, such as many items from dollar stores and things like that. So whichever they are, for example, they're in containers, right? They're going to stay right there because we're going to go home. Everyone needs to go home. It's important to empty the whole ship and relocate the whole ship to a safe area, and the containers can be opened afterwards, all right? Because it will be too hard to open all those containers in that short amount of time. But for food is mandatory. All food containers will be open, okay? And it's mandatory to get trucks and be delivering to residential communities, as indicated by the organization headquarters assistant teams from university. So they need to know right away which ships have food or which ships have containers with food, to make sure all containers with food, in the same way as airplanes bringing boxes, right, to empty out. They need to empty out and distribute all the food they have. For non-perishable food, such as grains, legumes, food in cans, so these are very important to be distributed. Roots, right, potato and everything else will be distributed properly to all regions of that county or even neighbor county as well, in the most the best estimate as possible. And start, of course, giving a little more to people, to communities, to poor communities, right? People with very low income. So they're going to have more than other families that might already have things on their homes, to make sure everyone will have a good share of food. Salads, fruits, legumes, and everything else in the same way. All right, ships that come and don't go back anymore. Airplanes can go a little bit more. For airplanes, I think we can continue doing until the end of the 28 weeks. All right, I think that's sustainable, because so we still give fruits, veggies to people. The salads that will be canceled in up to 8 weeks. No salads and herbs will be sent anymore after 8 weeks. The distribution will be given to each community, and they have to share according to the number of families they have. Okay, so all the food arrives, so every residential community needs the 10 department directors together and calculate. So every residential community, when they receive the food, instead of people going and getting everything, no, everything gonna be counted, all right, the same day. They're gonna be counted, they are going to be divided and then distributing according to the number of apartments they have or houses. The headquarters assistant team also needs to check people that will be actually living in those locations that were empty out, hospice, nursing homes, assisting living, because families where needed, family will already be living on those locations. Okay, now we'll say a few more details about the number 6, that all the gyms, everything related to dance studios, martial arts, gyms with machines, gyms without machines, and places like that. Places with sports, places that were offering teams, right, of any type. So all the machines will be cleaned up. That's the first basic step. And all the office, everything is to be cleaned up. They will already close for the public in up to 20 minutes. So for places that already have microphones and speakers, the person in charge, the manager, we already send a notice to everyone and said we are closing down for rules and guidelines we have to follow in 20 minutes. Please leave the facility. And in the same way for people that are in dance classes, swim classes, and games, they're going to stop the game, all right? So they have to start leaving right away, and up to 20 minutes they close the front door. All the gym machines need to be sent right away to recycle centers. On those 2 days, they have up to 48 hours to do that. Okay, they send them all. For people that were having martial arts with an object of any type, like even also for people that do swording and sparring. And they will also do all their cleanup for paperwork and need to do that 2-page reports, and they have to close down as well. So the machines will be transported as soon as possible, up to 48 hours, to a recycle center or to another indication where the headquarters assistant team will let them know where they have to bring, such as an email sent. They will receive the message by email or by a phone call, to the manager. And no, not a phone call. It needs to be a proper written email, so we have records of it. So we will have proper information. Because in some places they might already have the recycle center, and in some other places they need to bring them to the indication area that they will be recycled after, such as can be an open land, right? An open, empty land that's far from the city. That can be an option. The other option would be like a place that's not being used, such as a warehouse and so on. But they cannot stay at the gym and they cannot accept any new client after those 20 minutes maximum. Everyone needs to leave the location. We will only come back next day the staff that's really needed, the staff that will be doing the reports, right? And the staff that will be doing the driving those machines to the right location. Or, for safety purposes, will be another person from another place that will be driving. Yeah, that's improvement here. The owner himself or manager, anyone that works on that gym or all those places I mentioned, that's part of the number 5, cannot bring their machines or items used, such as martial arts and some gyms that have a lot of equipment, even on a ceiling, on the sides, right? They're going to be bringing all those items by another person, a driver that will be coming with a big truck, put everything in it. A team will come, put everything in it and leave, or even 2 trucks, because some are huge, right? They bring everything, it's done. And those drivers will be working all day on these 2 days, right? All drivers, and we need even more drivers because there's a lot of food to be distributed and all this cleanup, these 2 days cleanup. Now let's say a few words about educational sites. That's the number 6. All right. All educational sites from infants until high school will work both full days to make sure the parents can do what they need, they're working in other locations, and have their children safe. So the staff members will come the same way and the students are welcome the same way. The parents that already know about this program and they're home, for example, they don't work, and they don't have to bring their children anymore, because this way will be easier for the educational side to have less students and have the staff members to clean up everything as soon as possible. The older students from each grade level can be the main helpers, but everyone can help, from books to toys to literature books, right? Academic books, and also for everything else, decoration, because some educational sites have a lot of plastic decoration, and all those items will be already selected and placed by the front door for pickup on the second day. For those that can already have pickup on that same day, that first day, we'll already go ahead and do it. Because, for example, for libraries, very, very few books gonna stay. Only the ones that are really positive, right? And but the negative ones gonna be, the librarian can help. But all the children will already help with, because they read those books, they already know. They will have the basic guidance, and after that will be the work gonna be quickly done. All right, for schools. Okay, for all educational sites from infants until high school will be done this way. As soon as they arrive, everyone will be having the notice, the information. If the notice was given, for example, 10 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, in another moment of the day, that's okay. They will still do the same thing I'm going to explain you right now. So it can be 8 o'clock in the morning, right? 7, as soon as they arrive, or during the day at any time. Okay. So they will inform all the students and all the staff members right away. They will bring, if the school has a big location, they will gather right there. Some schools have a big covered area, right, such as a gymnasium, or they have an auditorium, or they have a cafeteria. So they will bring the students or separate them in groups. And if they have a big gymnasium, they can bring, like high schools. Many high schools have a big gymnasium, bring everyone right there. This information, this first basic information, is just to focus on 2 things. that they will be closed, right? For 2 or 4 weeks, depending on how they are. Because the ones that already have space for planting, they will be okay. And some others might gonna move to other locations. All right, so it's to tell everyone they're gonna be closed. And the other item is about the cleanup. All right, so they are aware of those two things. So, for principals that do not know yet if they're going to be closed 2 or 4 weeks, they're just going to tell this information. We are going to be closed for 2 or 4 weeks, and we will let know all the parents as soon as we have more information. By email, by phone calls, whichever is possible for us. And parents can also be checking for information online, that will be posted on the old school's website. The school buses, the pickup, the places that offer vans, offer buses, they can continue in the same exact way only for up to 2 days until 6 o'clock of that second day. Because in some cities they have regular public school buses, right? Some others they have even vans picking up, and some places even have Uber, Lyft picking up their children, okay? So, for parents that already know and can be home or already have grandparents at home, it's mandatory for them to keep their children home in case they were going by van or by Uber, Lyft, or any cab service, to make sure they have their children with them. For all others, such as the real school bus, then it's okay, because they're big, easy to be seen by everyone, that's okay. But for private cars, small vans, that's not allowed. Of course, if the parents have an option, right? And if they don't have an option, they still cannot send them on any cab service. They miss work and they stay with their children, teens. Mini buses that already are offered, that's okay for private or public education of any of those grades, it's okay to have it. For people that send their children, teens, with neighbors, they also have to stay home. They are not going out with neighbors, friends. If they are a car or a van, they cannot go out. Parents need to stay with them. They cannot go to their educational site on those 2 days. If they go to a family member that they really trust, then it's okay. But, if they really trust it, and, they have consistency on that, a lot of trust, then it's okay. Only if it's 100% safe. Otherwise, parents will miss work and stay with their children and teens and young adults up to 21 years old. This is very important, so we are safe. Okay, so I told you the school's gonna have this information, right? So you say all about the closing, and you're gonna say a few words. We don't know if it's gonna be closed because our school, we have to wait to see the approval for the land, because we're gonna plant food. And don't say too much, because that's not needed. And also because our school might be a place that families gonna wait until they can go to take families coming from whichever, can be refugee camps, can be from slums, can be homeless, can be a bunch of different people gonna stay here, might use this space, all right? So you're just gonna tell them for parents to keep looking online, and that's it. Don't give more details. For the cleanup, you are going to give details according to the group, the age group you have. for all cleanup that's needed. Some schools, as I said, have a lot of toys that won't be used, a lot of books. They need people to clean up the libraries. They need people to clean up the cafeterias. So people, all the food that's on, if that school is not going to be used for families, as I said, for slums families, families from shanty homes, families from refugee camps, and so on, all the food need to be sent home, right? All the food. So all the perishable food, okay? For the items that really can last a long time, they can stay, such as grains, right? But everything else, we already send home, okay? So the food gonna be sent home in bags to the families that need the most, all right? And you're gonna separate. So if you are from a private school, for example, with many rich students, they don't need that, right? So you're gonna contact the parents, and parents on that same first and second day, when they're picking up their children, they can stop somewhere and drop off. They can go, for example, to a community that's very poor, or which places they have. They can drop off at supermarkets. You have to make a plan according to the most safe for people to be able to get those food, people that really need. So, for example, supermarkets by close to poor communities, that's another good idea. They put right there by the front of the door, right? So, and can talk, of course, to the manager ahead, and have those parents driving, because people can still have those family cars for those 2 days. So they clean up everything. Everything will already be sent to recycle centers or to the trash. The trash and recycle truck drivers, they will be working all day, right? The best as possible if no other people is available. So those 2 days, because they already know their routes, and it's forbidden to leave things behind. They have to pick up. If it's on a street, they pick up. If it's on proper containers, they pick up. All those trucks need to be working full time, morning and afternoon, during these 2 days. So when those drivers will be picking up those items that cannot be the owners, right? Need to be other drivers. And also for the like moving drivers, and every truck available in a county can help to bring those items. They will already deliver them to landfills, to burners, right? Because some cities have burners for trash, or to recycle centers, and they will drop them off all in a separated areas to be easy to recycle afterwards. Residents from each place, each city, right, gonna be working on recycling those items. Owners or staff members cannot go to drop off those items, because we want to avoid them to know where they are located. Drivers that has small trucks, big trucks, that will receive the notice, they have to use them those 2 days, working the whole day, because their kids are safe at school. They have to work there the whole day. So be picking up and dropping off, whichever the message they will receive. Message need to be in writing, by text or by a phone text or email, because the driver will have documentation. This is to avoid drivers that are, to do their own thing, their own mind, and pick up anything and bring to anywhere they want. So it's very important. All notices for all those drivers, for everyone, gonna have detailed information. For example, for the driver, it's gonna say where to pick up, complete address, right? Where to drop, and person in charge to give those items. And then the drop off the same way. Complete address of the location, right? And name of the person in charge. Okay, so for the food that can be frozen for a long time, that's okay. The schools can keep them because then with time they will give to the people in the city that need the most or to their own students if they are proper frozen and can last for those 4 weeks or so. All right. So for school, basically is that they also will already recycle every item that's related to sports that we won't have, such as baseball bats and other things like that. Okay? So for those, teachers will already know, or a list will be sent to all schools, right, according to what they might have on that whole country, for example. So, and then the state's directors for educational facilities will be sent into their own counties, and the counties will be sent whichever the structure it's already on place for each country. That's what we will be using, the structure for communication. All right. The information will also come from one school to another, and then afterwards be reaching the main state educational director's office, for example, right? Because different countries do have different names for them. For example, here in the United States, we use the State Department of Education, and every county, they have the school district. That's how they use here in Florida. But in other countries, they use other words after other organizational offices. Okay, so let's say a few words about university. So they have 20 minutes, right, to close down, and all students are out during the time. The staff members will stay until the end of the day, okay? And they will be already cleaning up. So their classrooms, because we don't have too much. All right. For teachers that think they can have some help to clean up, for example, the library, right, and places like that, they can assign a few students. Only the best students will be selected. You know, the best ones. The best ones are what? The ones in higher grades, the ones with the best grades. That's it. Not the ones that just arrived, okay? Students that just start studying, for example, in February, because in the South, you know, some schools, some universities start the year in February. All right, in a reasonable way. So they will clean up everything, and the staff members will stay there. And they have to start, if they don't have yet, they have to start organizing their headquarters assistant teams. So they have to work really fast on those 2 days, and they can stay up to 4 days if they have someone to watch their children on those very important ways I told you. If they're really, really safe with one parent, right, the grandparents, or you know, the person that they really trust, because these 2 days are very important. So we won't have any mistake made, and any mistake of any type, and all children, teens will be home properly. Okay, all right. So This university, they also need to do a quick report. The report needs to be done in 2 days. In the same way as for everyone else. When they're open, how many years, who opened, right? How many students they attend, everything else for all those sites, it's 2 days. But on these 4 days, they are going to schedule, organize their headquarters assistant teams for each area, because we have many areas. And the teachers will invite their best students to help them. So for everyone, it's very important to make sure their children and teens are safe, and they will start doing these headquarters assistant teams with the basic items, because the details will be done afterwards. Okay, so everyone gonna take a part, already send the information the best as possible for those pickup. That's priority for all those places where they will be bringing their items to trash, and where the recycle centers will be in each county, in each municipality. Because all those places, the managers, the owners of all those places, I said earlier during this video, will be waiting on that so the drivers can come. And the drivers also be waiting on that information. So all those places, the owners and the managers can already also call moving companies or rent. No, they cannot rent because it's not a driver, but they can call moving companies to come and pick up their items. So those that can get this done, we already be sending. Then on the second day, will be better to check online which of this business still have things to be picked up. Okay, so on the second day for this university teachers, right, that they can also have a few of their students as well, they will already be in charge of different things. So we have all these headquarters assistant teams that will be according to the area that they are already teachers, right? Health for health, education for education, construction, social work, and so on, okay, according to what they already have. And then they are going to get a part to be in charge and offer more details on it afterwards, okay? So they will do the best they can until the second day at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock of the second day, they are by the door. Okay, and then they can bring home, okay, so this, you're gonna do that, you're gonna do this, I will do that, every person will already be in charge of an area. These also include their work for slums, for refugee camps, on the details. So I'm giving here base, but these teams need to be ready, very organized with all these details. They have to type and print everything they can until 6 o'clock, and bring home on things they have to search up on their cell phones, because no one is allowed to have computers at home, right, during that cleanup week. So they might have their computers at home just for maybe 2 days or so, right, to finish anything that's needed. That is basic, because those groups gonna keep their work online, communicating with each other, whichever they are, and have meetings at the university when the universities will be open again. That probably is in 4 weeks, right? The same as the schools, in about 4 weeks. Okay, the other thing is that for school teachers and university teachers of all levels, from infants to PhD, they're going to leave the positive materials they have, such as very special books, academic, and also, for example, for little children, the image books or the little stories that they think that might pass. Those very small items they will leave. Universities too, they will leave their books, right? They will leave little something else, maybe some books about homework or assignments, right? What they think that's really good that might be approved afterwards. The headquarters that have great capacity to be headquarters system team leaders, if they don't have anyone really 100% safe to leave their children teams, they won't go on this third and fourth day. That's okay. So they will be contacting the others. They can have Zoom meetings, they can have WhatsApp meetings, talk online, okay? And afterwards, they are going to have their proper details, properly written and printed and posted at the county website. So remember, all the information, with exception of the security information, will be posted online for everyone to learn and know about it. And they might open, the schools can open 2 weeks, but the universities are not going to open in 2 weeks. But the headquarters assistant teams can start going for meetings with 2 weeks. Because the schools in 2 weeks, so the parents can do what they have to start doing. Going to special appointments like dentist treatment, the family doctor, everyone is to go together, but they can have the children safe while they do these other things. Take trainings for the following work, have work interview, and so on. The other thing that teachers from all educational sites of all types, from infants to PhD, they're gonna clear up the wall, all right? So the mural they have can stay, because we're going to check which ones, gonna let you know which ones can continue, which ones are not. But they can stay, they can be placed on the floor or stay on the wall, and we will give details on that afterwards. So they have to clean up all the walls, including messages that are given, drawings, paintings, everything. They have to put everything down the wall, because all the walls going to be painted and properly fixed. All right, thank you. So for all the murals, right, and also for very special, beautiful, harmonious, positive paintings or posters, they can stay and details will be given afterwards. Everything else will be taken out and sent to recycle centers or to trash collections areas. Okay, so I finish here, the basic information for all educational sites of all levels, from infants to PhD. And then the same way, of course, is for their common areas, right? Cafeterias, auditoriums, and anything else they have. For labs, for chemistry and physics, they're just going to do the best they can and leave everything right there, because might be used for learning classes or for to be brought to other locations close by. So those, they just take out what they are sure that we won't need, according to being positive and sustainable. And any class for masonry and things that we will use, so they can also stay exactly as they are. Okay, so the number 7 is for stores, supermarkets, department stores, malls, shopping centers, right? All these places. And restaurants as well. So I'm going to say a few words about each. Okay, for everyone selling objects, that's very easy. So the objects, they are going to send everything that's not authorized. They're already going to send to recycle centers and to trash locations for burners or landfills, whichever they have. For objects that are authorized, they're going to leave at the the store itself, right? In the shelves where they are, and come back afterwards with more information on how they will be exposed and sold and so on. Because many stores, they're huge, right? And they're going to use the front part that will be smaller for everyone, because no one's going to be consumerists, or they're going to move to another location. So for the authorized objects, they just leave where they are on the shelves. That it's for everyone, from dollar stores to fancy, big, huge department stores. All right, so these are the information for people that have objects. All right, now let's talk about clothes. So for stores that sell clothes, from dollar stores that I seen them selling clothes before, until big fancy or department stores that are huge, what they're gonna do? The same way. They have to sort out the ones that are not authorized and the ones that are authorized. Okay? So in this way, they will already send, they have to pick up, their items in up to the second day. Okay? The last delivery needs to leave by 5 p.m. on the second day. All right? Okay, so here's an improvement for transportation, right? Transportation is the number 4. Okay, every urban bus, trains, travel trains, and subways, right? All this transportation, airplanes, okay, boats that cross rivers or that bring people to more faraway places, if they are daily passengers or if they are trip, they will work regular hours during these 4 days. Not for the trip ones. Oh yes, for the trip as well, because then people have time. If they want to move, already move the best as possible and live with the family they want to live, right? Okay, so they will keep their own regular time. We're saying that because in some cities, like in Florida, the buses stop at 6 o'clock. And some big cities, they go to 11, even midnight for the last bus, 1 o'clock in the morning, right? So they will work their regular times. So no one will be caught in a surprise. Okay, so for anyone that has bus after 10 p.m., okay, after 10 p.m., such as urban buses, places like that, the driver, or subways, I know some places go to 11 midnight, so they will give the notice that the last transportation will leave at 10 p.m. So they know it's almost regular time for those people. And how announcements will be done? Like, for example, for subways, right? Underground. And for above ground trains and for everything else. The bus driver needs to stop, say by the microphone, or stand up and say aloud every 4 bus stops. I think that's really reasonable. Okay? So every 4 bus stops, they have to give this announcement. If it's for a train, for subways and everything else, every stop, because usually they tell which stop it is, right? Where they are. So everyone, approaching station this, approaching station that, right? Some people say this way, and some people say in another way. Coming up now this, coming up now, or next, coming up next this, bus stop or train stop, anything. So if they have a microphone, they have to say on that way. If they don't have a microphone for the driver, right, they have to stand up and say in a safe way, because some buses are way too crowded, right? But they have to say in a very strong voice. Okay? So everyone will have that information that the last subway, the last bus, and everything, the whole city already tell this for the whole city. Send a message. Will leave their last location at 10 o'clock and not 11 or 12, all right? Or we leave the terminal, okay? So, and they can also say that 11 p.m. is the last stop. So whichever they are, they cannot move anymore. So people in charge of those transportation, they have to already be organized where they will stop, okay? But they are not moving after 11. So everyone will be home and get used to. If the person miss, it's okay, you can sleep there somewhere, the station, the bus terminal, nobody gonna die because of that. It's not too cold anymore here, in the North Hemisphere. And on the south it's just a little cold, start to get cold, nobody gonna freeze, okay? All right, so I think that's really sustainable. Why is that? For people to pay attention, tell others, and you can already say to tell others, please tell your family and everyone you know. So those 2 hours, 10 o'clock is the last leaving the last terminal, and after 11, no one, there's the last stop. Okay, so now let's go back to the department number 7. All right, for clothes. For clothes, we are the items that are not authorized. Very bad sentences, very bad words, very bad logos, right? Or very bad images, or sentences that can be interpreted in 2 different ways, the good and the bad. All these things are already going to be sent to recycle centers, all right? If they can be recyclable, or they will already be sent to landfills, okay, to be recycled after. All right, so these include clothes and fabric, with plaid, with lines, with things related to video games, related to negative stories, and any video game actually, okay? All right, all of those. Also for dyes, right? Clothes that were dyed naturally or artificially. Okay, all those that are not authorized by the organization. Jeans and pants or shorts that are shredded and cut, right? Nothing of those we are going to use. For those that can be cut, for example, long pants that are shredded from the knee down, so they will be sent to thrift stores. Everything that can be fixed will be sent to thrift stores. We're going to have a place where sewing couples will be working on those. For example, shorts can be, pants can be shorts and so on, okay? Okay, if the logo is very small, then it's okay, because people in need can use them at home, okay? And t-shirts that are not 100%, but for example, if there are 2 colors, right, and a little detail here and there, and then it's okay, right? 2 plain colors, I'm saying. Then it's okay just for this beginning until we make more clothes and so on. All right, people can use them at home for a few days or a few weeks until better ones arrive. So also for everything with glitter, and all these shiny things or too many buttons, if people believe that they can be cut out, depends where they're located, and still be used, they will be sent to thrift stores where the things will be separated, and sewing couples will be working there or in a nearby selected building. All right, so now let's say a few words about shoes and boots. The not authorized shoes are the ones that are very hard. You know, the bottom is very stiff, so we're not having any of those. Okay, so all these shoes, tennis shoes that are very stiff, are the not authorized ones. Okay, so for regular shoes like social shoes and tennis shoes and all this other types, social for male, female, if they have up to 2 colors, they stay, right? If they are 3 colors, for example, up to 4 colors, but plain, plain, no bad words or not a bunch of pins hung, then it's okay. They can stay for now. Okay, for now. All right? Okay. Need to be 4 solid colors, up to 4 solid, plain colors, that's okay. Black shoes for now, it's okay. Black boots, black shoes, black tennis shoes, all this is okay. What we cannot have are those shoes that have a lot of different colors, such as plaid, lines. If they have too many other things, then it's not okay. For shoes that have a big logo, if it's a respectful logo, is not, for example, a Playboy logo, then it's okay. They can use for now until better ones arrive. The boots that are not authorized are the ones that have too many pins, but like winter boots are authorized. If they're like social, rubber boots are authorized. Okay, so all those boots are authorized to be used. Okay, so for those that have many colors, that can be up to 4, right? Up to 4 colors. It's okay if they're plain, and other than that, I don't see any details. Can have laces and can have Velcro. For now, they can have everything. Flip-flops and Crocs are also authorized. Flip-flops can be authorized even that they have up to 4 colors. They cannot be if they have if they're really bad. But it depends on the region they're located. If they are kind of solid colors, that's fine, up to 4 different colors, okay. For backpacks, they can keep them there because we are going to send proper details on the ones we can have and the ones we cannot have. Just for now, that for sure we are not keeping, the ones that are not authorized, are the ones that have plaid, the ones that have bad image, bad pictures, or bad logos, as I already said, bad sentences and things like that. If their logo are kind of small, up to, let's say, 10 by 10 or so, for now it's okay. And then we are going to tell afterwards which ones we can keep and which ones going to be recycled. And the ones that you can take out the tag goes to thrift stores that will be fixing them and selling them. But ones won't be made professionally, they will be sold at thrift stores and not at new stores. Okay, so everything that will be fixed by sewing couples will be already sent to thrift stores. During these 4 days, people can go and pick up items they need at those stores and thrift stores. If they need some clothes, some shoes, they go there, talk nicely with the owner, wait for authorization and get it. The backpacks, I said that because sometimes we might, if it's a small symbol, we also can take out the tags. We're going to see the best we can so they can be useful. If it's a stiff backpack, such as a hard suitcase, those hard ones, stiff ones, they have to be sent to recycle centers. Okay, for supermarkets, they have to send everything home on those 2 days, up to 4 days. Okay, yeah, up to 4 days. Why is that? Because they are going to give away their own things, and some of them will be receiving things from other local places that will be closed and will be placed right there. Okay, so they can set up tables, they can place on locations that are available and put a little sign for free. Okay, because as I said, all the schools, all this place is going to be closed for 4 weeks. So people that have money, food and restaurants can have them given to supermarkets, because the families will be going to supermarkets to get their own food. They're not just going to sit down and wait for the distribution trucks from the distribution centers to come. Every family needs to look for their own needs for water and food. For families that need and do not have don't have money, right? Homeless people, with very low income, they can already go to the manager and already say, look, I need some food, please help me out, and the manager needs to say, yes, you can take it for free at the cashier number 1, okay? Wait for an answer. Don't go and fill up your cart before you talk to the owners or to the owner of a manager in charge, right? Make sure you communicate first, have authorization, then you already say how much you need. So I need 20 items, I need 40 items, okay? So don't take too much. Of course, some big families can take 40. So it's about 5 items, more or less 5 items per person, and each family gonna take what they need the most, right? So to have food for those 4 weeks. Okay, on the 4th day in the afternoon, everything is free for everyone from 4 to 6 p.m. Okay, so every family will be taking what they need during this previous 3.5 days. Okay, so on the 4th day in the afternoon, from 4 to 6 p.m., that is free. People go and get to really empty out supermarkets. Supermarkets will be emptied out. Why? Because people have freezers, will be bringing things to freezers. People that have stoves, microwaves for their very few days, yes, they can use that food, get it done, because the following week everyone don't have any more microwaves and stoves. Everyone gonna keep until the new stoves arrive, right? Because some stoves are attached to the ovens. Those can stay until the new flat stoves arrive. But the ovens that are individual unit on counters, for example, they need to be sent out for all the families on that first during the 1 week cleanup. That's soon after these 4 days, okay? When all families will be home during that first week, will be their own house cleanup. Okay, those supermarkets need to be 100% cleaned up. okay? And families, for this 4 to 6 o'clock, for what is left over, they can line up and wait with their bags and pick up. Until 4 o'clock will be the families that will be gathering things, up to, as I said, 5 items per person of the house, okay? Up to 2 times the families can go. They can go get 5 items everyone, and on a second day they can go and get 5 items again, second or third day. Why is that? Because the families going first don't pick up 10 items per person, and then they will be getting the best, and the other families will have almost none. So this way, families can go 2 different times, right? Not in the same day. They cannot go on the same day, okay? So this way, I think is really sustainable, right? So we will share, because some people might live really close to supermarkets, others live really far away, and so on. Okay, so for all areas that are needed, right, urban bus and everything else gonna continue, so people can go home with those items instead of walking for many kilometers, right, with those food in carrying bags. Okay, so that is important. The buses will continue, as I said before. All right, urban buses. Okay, by 6 o'clock, they also need supermarkets, all these stores. Everyone needs to have their reports. Places that still have a computer printer, they will be doing their report on their computers and need to have at least 10 signatures. So unless it's really small store, they can have 4 signatures. But for all the bigger stores, and will be, of course, the most important people of each of those places I'm saying, that belongs to the item number 7, stores of all types. For those that are small, or some countries, they don't even have much computers and printers, that's okay. They will be doing these reports in the same way by handwriting, not too big so it can fit a lot of information. Everyone will be doing this report in the same way. Report needs to include when they were open, license number, complete address, and every other information I will give you afterwards. All reports need to have 4 originals, and everyone needs to sign with proper blue pen, okay? All this information is very important. Okay, details about the reports I'm gonna give you after. Okay, so let's keep going. So now we have the pharmacies, right? Let's talk about pharmacies. So all the synthetic pharmacies will be closed down completely. All right, so how are we gonna do that? So the synthetic items that are authorized, such as antibiotic and painkiller, they will be sent to clinics and hospitals that will be giving them to their patients right away, because they're gonna have proper cameras. No one gonna be giving too much or too little, because we want people also in the best as possible to have condition to work at the gardens, right, and be with their families. Okay, all these allopathic pharmacies need to close down in up to 48 hours, not even 10 minutes more. Empty out completely. For the items we will still use, such as antibiotic and authorized vaccines, not COVID and not flu, but those vaccines in third world countries that are really important, that's okay. All right, and for any other medication that is being authorized by the organization headquarters assistant teams that are nurse teachers. Okay, so those need to be transported right away to clinics and hospitals that will be using them along those 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 28 weeks according to what is the medication they already have. Okay, so they need to close completely. All right. After 48 hours, they can have up to 1 more hour just for the reports. Just for very few staff members, 2 or so, 2 or 4, right? 2 or 4 staff members, I think that's reasonable. But all the medication already gone, they're just completing this. Okay, all right. So one thing I didn't say, for all these places, the scanning machines that we won't be using because of money, they will already be sent to recycle centers. All of them will only keep computers and printers because we will see what that location will be used and if they're gonna be sent to another place, or will stay right there and so on. All the computers will be checked anyways, and all the wall phones will be checked anyways, but for now they can stay there, the phones as well. All right, so now let's say for some details of allopathic pharmacies that we're not going to use. They're very useless. So, for example, as a foot powder, deodorant, what else we are not going to use? Gums, candies, right? So candies and gums that are very small, they are already going to be sent to recycle centers. Candies and chips that are more like food, such as, for example, chocolate candies, not those that are plain sugar, not those, but those that are more related to food, and chips as well, different type of snacks, those will be dropped off to the nearest supermarket, so people can also be getting those food for free and use instead of throwing away. The other things that we're not going to use are those suppressants, such as coughing liquids and things like that no one needs that, because people will have natural ways of treating themselves. If they have really pneumonia, the doctor's gonna give them proper medicine. But we are not going this way of using allopathic medicine that we do not need. All right, so let me say a few words about natural pharmacies. We'll be doing exactly the same, and we'll be sending all their materials, all their products to clinics and hospitals. They will be sharing according to the number of people that will attend these 2 locations. The headquarters assistant teams will let them know, how much more or less will be sent to those locations. So the patients, the best as possible, instead of having an artificial an allopathic medicine given to them, they will already have those natural things. All right. Because some places, some countries are very connected to natural medicine, and some places, some countries are not at all. So what we are going to do is all this natural medication, including turmeric and everything else, propolis from bees, things that are already made, we are not throwing away because they're good, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to send to the farthest location they think will be useful to them, okay? And far away from production areas, okay? So ginger, turmeric, all these are Ayurveda things, right? And will be sent out first during these 4 days while we still have buses and trains and airplanes, right, that can transport those items to people that need. Priority for everything that to boost immune system are for those that are coming from areas that are not exposed to the civilization, such as refugees, indigenous people, that are a very large amount of people, or even small tribes that are not used to the civilization. They will have priority over any civilization. People live in cities to boost their immune system, and also in case they need for the following weeks, right, to be the most strong and healthy as possible. And of course, children and elders first. Okay, so the headquarters assistant team is gonna let know where this natural medication and boosters, protein shakes will be used. From both pharmacies, allopathic and natural, we will use everything related to vitamins, related to protein shakes, protein bars. We are not throwing those, not throwing anything. These normal things, they have to send to supermarkets. And for the more detailed items, more like medicines or immune system boost, will be sent to where the headquarters assistant team will ask them to send to. Owners of those pharmacies also, of all these places for objects, clothes, shoes, backpacks, all these owners and managers are not going to drop off their own items to the designated area. So they won't even know where those things are. They have to focus on closing their locations, their stores, all right, or pharmacies. Okay, so now for both pharmacies, if they have any makeup, they can only keep the neutral lipsticks, right, and the neutral base for skin, because those items we already have anyways, okay, so we have to use them anyways, right? We're not going to recycle them. But for example, lipstick that are too bright, too red, we're not keeping, or violet or black, all these type of lipsticks are not authorized, not being used. The ones we will use are more like the beige, the brownish, or orange with brownish, red with brownish, not neutral colors. Okay, all right. And for the face base, the same way, just for regular base. Okay, we are not using the black pencil, we are not using glitter or any other of these shading things, like for color, for the eyes or eyebrows, or those stickers they put, or nothing of that. The face base can also only be on neutral colors. The little beige, going to brownish, but cannot be too brown, cannot be white, such as used for clowns, or any other color of any type. For razors of all types and all permanent hair removal gonna be sent to supermarkets and place at the shelves there with the regular items, so the families can go and pick them up, because supermarkets are open for 4 days and pharmacies need to close in 48 hours. All deodorant of all types will be sent to recycle centers, because many of them have aluminum. It's not good to put aluminum on their arm. It's not healthy. People can even, get the aluminum from those items that are not needed. Also, for makeup that has aluminum won't be allowed. Shaving creams also will be sent to the supermarkets. Shaving wax can be sent, because families need to shave themselves, right, for their doctor appointment. So everything related to shaving they can be sent to the supermarkets, even they have aluminum, because that will just be a few times and it's over. Perfumes and colognes can also be sent to supermarkets, okay? Because the families can use them, all right, until the end of the 28 weeks, and after that they can only keep the ones that are authorized. The perfumes and colognes need to be kept by the parents at the parents' bedroom and locked during the day, okay? Even that 15 years old can use in a regular base, an app can use on a regular base, and older children can only use in special days, such as 4 times a year. They have to be locked. Why is that? Because if the teens on these 4 times a year, older children and teens want to use, the parents bring, they use and put back and lock them up. Okay, all the disposable diapers, let's say a few words about that. So all of them will be brought to the supermarkets because, some children are older, not trained yet. Some elders are still using, but everyone gonna apply the practices of our handbooks and they will be healthy. They are already made anyways, right? So all of them will be brought to supermarkets so people can get and use them. For tampons and pads. So on the future, we are not going to use pads anymore, right? But right now, we already made them anyways, so people can use them, all right? And they will live for future days, so they will use the pads right now the best as possible, okay? And while we still have trash pickup, because in the future we're only going to be having burners, and then people can only use proper tampons. So when females use tampons for their days, they have to put a little piece of paper right in between their vagina. So if a drop or a little bit comes out, they have this extra paper. And they will stay there because it's very tight area, and just need a little bit instead of having these huge pads for no reason. And it's mandatory for everyone to use tampons because, this two information is already there, but in reality, they are part of the Department of Families and Hygiene. And for everything else, if they have objects, clothes, shoes, will be, as I already said, but they cannot keep anything there because they will be completely empty out. And the stores can keep good items, right, that will be used in the future, but not pharmacies. All pharmacies, allopathic and natural, will be 100% emptied out. For the machines that are used to process natural medicine, if the pharmacies have them, not for homeopathic pills and drops, not that one, but for plants in general, right, for roots, if they have machines that process those, they can stay there until the headquarters assistant team let them know where they will be sent to, because some of them we will be using at the educational centers or some other places like that. All right, so for pharmacies, I think I gave enough information, right? And if any other detail is left, the headquarters assistant team can go ahead and let them know where they have to send those items. They will also have pickup drivers that will be passing the whole day. They will be driving, right? The morning team, the afternoon team, and because some trucks are very big and can fit many things. Everything that will be sent out for all those stores that I'm mentioning, They need to be placed in proper boxes or proper bags, unless they are really big, right? They can go by themselves. But for every small item, such as... So let's say a few words about places that sell boxes, big, small, all size, right? Like moving companies and so on. They are going to send their boxes where the headquarters ask. That's a number one. And number two, where owners ask them, where owners can pick up, right? Can pick up or ask to be delivered. Ask to be delivered. All right, so but the first information is the headquarters assistant team. If they did not send information on how that will be done, the owners of all these places I already said, they will be picking up themselves or ask for the company to drop off if they have availability to do that. Okay, I have an improvement for all the clothes and shoes that are authorized, all these stores, to drop off all their items that are kind of more or less and might be used at the supermarkets, because people can also fix a little something at home. So they're going to see what's the most appropriate, or they send to thrift stores to be properly fixed, or they can also send to local supermarkets so families can use them. If the owners have capacity to hire someone, or if a driver is coming, of course we'll be sending those items to supermarkets that are in regions, in communities or neighborhoods that have lower income, because the others don't need that, okay? For the clothes that are not approved, and they will keep the clothes that is really approved. And I have one more detail for clothes. For example, the collar, right, is a social shirt, for example. The collar is one color, the whole shirt's another color. They can still be remodeled, or take the collar out, or use like that to sleep for a few days, you know? Or if it's cold, they can use with a little sweater. So the main thing is for people to have clothes in poor areas, to have clothes to wear during these 4 weeks, until new clothes, proper clothes, will be arriving to them, okay? So they are not sending everything to thrift stores, as I said before. Okay, let's say a few words about appliances. The first one is the refrigerators. Refrigerators gonna stay right there where they are, okay? If a family do not have one, they can go and pick it up during these 2 days. They will, you know, these stores, appliance stores, gonna open only for 2 days. All the stores gonna be open for 2 days, right? So they can go and say, look, my refrigerator broke, or my refrigerator is not working properly. So they can go, choose one, bring home, and done. All right. The refrigerators are made anyways, right? So people, they will keep selling the ones that are authorized, and not selling, giving. And but most normal types we will continue using. The smaller ones will be used at apartments with 1 bedroom, right? For couples, elders by themselves. And for all others, regular or even the 2 doors ones, it's fine, we're going to use, because what happened is that many families, gonna be a number of 14 people, so they can be used now. The details will be given afterwards, okay? The details about what we can keep or not, how old they are, if that's sustainable or not according to their solar panels, right? Because you're not going to have electricity sent from one state to another and so on. So details will come afterwards. For stoves, people cannot bring them home now. They will kept at the stores, the flat ones, and to be properly installed in a nearby or needed location of that county. And the old ones that have burners that are not flat stoves will be recycled because we're not using ovens of any types, the ones that are stove and oven combined. For the ovens that are counter ovens, right, small or big or very big ones, they will already be sent to recycle centers because we are not going to use them anywhere. All right, no ovens of any type, new places. So, and then come the small items, coffee machine, toaster, rice makers, bean makers, and all this stuff will already be sent to the recycle center because they're not needed, not sustainable, we're not going to have them anywhere. Okay? And the same thing for all these other small machines, waffle makers, and everything else relate with a cord, with an electric cord. For stores that have pans, they will keep those that are not the ones I just mentioned, of course, that has no electric cord. That's okay. They will keep them because pans and pots, okay, if they are in clay, if they are in stone, if they are in aluminum, because for those we are going to send specific details afterwards, not at this time. So the store owners of those places, has a cord, an electric cord, they have to send to recycle anyways. For everything else, they're gonna keep and wait for those 4 weeks where will be closed and have the approved ones gonna stay with more details. At the handbooks that we're gonna place for everyone online so the owners can see all these details afterwards. And for places, pans and pots and kitchen items, the same way, up to 2 days. And they can also send the items that they think is convenient to supermarkets for people to get for free what they need. Such as pots that might not be approved for afterwards, those are too thin, not really strong, not really durable, so they can already send for free. So people that need will already be using. For places that can, we already be bringing them to the close to the communities with low income, those supermarkets with low income. So they will have people that need will have, because some people have only 2 pots. They don't have enough. The 2 they have, they're not even good. So it's important for those owners to already, those that they think they're not going to be approved to be offered afterwards, to already be sending them out. For all these stores on the future, we're going to see also which one's going to continue, which ones are not. They're going to be small stores, right? To be sustainable and have people work in different places. But we can also have some small malls, not big ones, not huge ones, right? But some malls, and we're going to tell which ones going to continue the way they are. So people have different things to do. And which one's going to be completely remodeled because there's something more important to be done on that area. Such as universities, adult education, and places like that. Or city offices. Some of them might continue part of it and the other part will be used for something else. The proposals for each one gonna come afterwards. These 4 weeks they will be closed. The proposals will be coming from the headquarters assistant teams. Okay, so we finish here the items, the basic information for all appliances. Yes, let me already say, because let's include here AC floor machines, for AC humidifiers, also for Okay, let's say a few words about floor machines and counter machines such as humidifier, air conditioning, that is based on a floor, right? Some units like that. And also table lamps, floor lamps, and all right, so for the humidifier, if they had, if they did, they didn't. So we're not giving new humidifiers to people. They will be sent to recycle centers, because for those that did not have them yet, they're figuring out other ways. They put a wet towel by the bed of the baby and so on. For those that really have a health issue, the parents going to start eating healthy, the mom's going to be feeding them good food, they're going to be fine in a very few days. Okay? All right, let's say a few words about the AC. The AC units that are floor units are not going to be sent home, because people that already have, people that don't, they figure out other ways, the way they already been doing. The only one that is authorized are the fans. The fans are authorized until proper fans are installed at all home ceilings, because they avoid mosquitoes, they avoid the heat itself of apartments that are small and don't have many windows and so on. These are the only one authorized. All right, so let's say table lamps and floor lamps. We are not giving anyone out, because people have, people don't. They're gonna continue using what they already have at their homes. We're not giving any to people. All right, so basically is that we'll only continue. The fans can be given, right? All the fans of all types, not those very huge ones, because people are gonna stay in homes. But the small, medium ones, up to, let's say, 40 by 40, that's okay. People can come and pick them up for free. And also the refrigerators, how many people will come can have them for free. They can say theirs is too old, or they can say they don't have one. And the owners can also bring to very poor locations, and and see if anyone needs or something like that. Okay? No, they won't bring. The couple needs to go and ask for it, and then they will go and drop it off. For fans, of course, they're small. Families can bring themselves. They can even go on urban buses, they just carry the box and bring it home, even that has an electric cord. Okay, so let's say a few words about sex shop. So they have to be 100% cleaned up with everything they have. What can be recycled is a plastic item. They will go, and everything else will be sent to the trash area, being incinerator or landfill, whichever it is. Okay? They have up to 2 hours, because no one will be picking up anything. So those shops, they have up to 2 hours to close down. So they have to figure out, because some are big, I guess, but they can get their items, put on a car, drop off, and close it. All right? They are not having the 4 reports, the 4 original reports. They're not having that, because those are really bad and they don't need. In the same way as the video games. The video games have up to 24 hours, because usually they're bigger, to empty out everything. Owners can, from these 2 locations, video game and sex shops, owners can bring everything to the trash location. All right? And they will separate plastics for example, the video game might have, right, many plastic things to be recyclable. So they have to close. So the sex shop is up to 2 hours, empty everything, put in a car or even a cab. They sent to the location, right, to the trash area, and they are done. Or put them right at the street, okay, in 2 hours, because trash gonna still be picked up. They put in big bags in front of their, they're not improvement here. They're not dropping off themselves. They are not calling any cab service to do this. They're gonna put in trash bags right in front of their business. For items that can be recyclable, such as plastic hangers, for example, I don't know, but they need to be placed in open boxes. So the recycling truck gonna be passing very slowly, and the spouse of the driver will be looking to make sure. If it's a closed bag, it's trash for sure. If it's in an open box, it's items to be recycled, such as plastic, aluminum, other materials like that. It's mandatory for trash and recycle collection in all counties of all countries to be going on every day of these 4 days, going around their neighborhood as best as possible, because they know their route, but they're going to be really working from 7 to noon, and the other team from 1 to 6. All these 4 cleanup days for businesses. All right, so let's say a few more words about the video games, right? So, video game stores can have really many items, so they're gonna be doing the same way. Everything that cannot be recycled, they need to place in bags. And the items, the plastic, for example, plastic boxes, card boxes, everything that it's made out of recycled items, they're gonna be placed in open boxes at the street. Both of them are gonna be in open boxes. Some countries and some states, like in Florida, we already have recycle containers and trash containers everywhere that they can use. But in some other countries, what they really have is the street. And once all these stores will be doing this a lot, a lot of trash gonna be out and a lot of recycle out items from all these businesses, what's gonna happen? They are going to place on the street in front of their business. Okay, so it's mandatory for all those businesses of people that want to continue there to have at least 4 cameras. Okay, and for everyone that has items left there, even that they don't want to continue that business, to have at least 4 cameras. Okay, at least 4 cameras. One by the entrance and for small shops, that's just 1 room, and on the back one a little small warehouse, they can have 4 cameras. All right, one by the entrance, one by this main store, one by the small warehouse in the back, and one more in the most needed area. Okay, for those small places. For all medium stores, they're gonna have 6 to 10 cameras, and bigger stores already have them for sure. So owners need to install those cameras during that time. All right, so let's say a few words about stores that sell specific clothes, such as sports clothes, hunting clothes, games, right? For competitions and stuff, okay? They will be doing exactly the same. they have up to 10 minutes to say for their customers to leave, right? They're going to explain properly on their microphone speakers if they have. If they don't, very easily they can go to each person and announce that. For department stores that have those items, they will be closing the same by speakers and by approaching customers and close the front door. So let's put 20 minutes. I think is more reasonable. In 10 minutes, people have to leave. So 10 minutes to leave and 20 to close the front door. Okay. And if they're department stores, they're going to be closing as well. I'm going to explain afterwards. All right. So for the sports that are authorized, such as nets for volleyball, balls for volley, for regular playtime, for basketball. So the small balls for wooden small rackets itself, wooden ones, not the professional big ones, no, not that ones. So for items that the owners already know that are authorized, they can keep. The ones that are not authorized, they already have to be sending them out. The ones with very big logos have to go out. The ones with very small logos, they can keep because the families can use them at home during these 28 weeks. So if they have skiing and it's not a region with snow, they are already going to send to recycle centers because some places have those things for people to buy at their own city and then bring them to another state. But we're not doing that, okay? If they are good skis, the recycle center will keep them and will send them when these 4 weeks open up, all the stores, they will be sending them to the proper locations that will rent them where there is snow, and those materials will be needed. For all sports that are authorized, that have items, even surfboards and other items like that will be the same. If they can keep their own region, they will keep. If they don't, they will bring to recycle items. The recycle owners, that are these new 10 department directors, will be sending them to their own country where is needed. Kayaks can only be used for 2 people, needs at least 2 seats, okay? Kayaks, existing kayaks with 1 seat, I will let you know afterwards because we have to think, because there are really many. They're going to be recycled anyways, but we are going to see if we approve them or not, okay? Because we already have them anyway, so, but I will let you know afterwards. So for the items that have bad image, but they are approved, such as skates, scooters, and things like that, kayaks, canoes, and all these other items, so they have to keep and wait, because proper information will be given on where they're going to be sent, or if they're going to stay right there and the new owner is going to fix them, how that will be made, okay? So the headquarters assistant team is going to give detailed information about how to fix those items. And of course, for everything that's not authorized, will already be sent out. The other thing that if they are good, they can be kept to be sent to other states, are the ice skating, because if they don't have ice, they don't have snow, they are not being kept at that states, but they can be sent out when the 4 weeks come, sent by airplane or trains or any other transportation that will be available. What they can already send, of course, they will already send. Okay, by the ways, it's available. They are available. Regular pickup companies, right? They can come, pick up, and already send, because right now we have many transportation items that's still working. If they really cannot send at notice time, those 2 days, and then they wait to send afterwards. All right, the other things are bicycles and motorcycles. So those two things, motorcycle, I'm just writing down my notes as well. They need to be sent right away to recycle centers, okay, if they have them, because they're not going to be kept in any stores. They have to be dropped off on those 2 days. If they're big or not, small or not, they have 2 days. All these things that I'm telling you are for both types of places, for the stores themselves, and also for producers that have them in a small scale, right? For big places such as warehouses, that some are really big, and then the headquarters assistant team are already going to send a notice to each one, okay, for those items to be already sent to recycle or kept there, whichever is the most appropriate. All right, so small producers going to be the same as the stores, but very large producers going to be, because then they will have just like a very few items, right? And might be more convenient to do the recycling right there, for example, okay? The other thing is that for the assistant teams, this is really important. They are going to have help, the university teachers can contact the city to have helpers, whichever area they need. For example, inspectors for construction, inspectors for parks, or people that work in all those different departments, inspector for stores, inspectors for places that deals with food, right? The health department, so on. Continuation of video number 2.